A month ago, our surrogate gave birth to our baby boy. We went through gestational surrogacy. It means that the egg was mine and the sperm was my husband's. We thought surrogacy would fit in with our plan successfully, and it did until our surrogate showed up at our door and demanded to pick the name of her baby. I was really confused about why she had shown up. Since she had given birth a month ago, she was still recovering. There were also a few complications, not with the birth, but after the birth. I'm not allowed to say much about her condition now that it has been confirmed, but for reference, you can take postpartum depression as an example. According to our contract, she wasn't supposed to contact us again. We went with formula milk as she was on meds. She had started showing symptoms around 10 days after giving birth and was getting proper treatment. Our agency recommended not contacting her again. Of course, the contract was one reason, but there were a few other factors at play. She had been healthy throughout the pregnancy, though. I asked her to wait at the door and called my husband. My husband was surprised to see her. She glared at us and accused me of stealing her baby. She again demanded to name our baby. We had already named him, and she wasn't aware of anything that happened after the birth. My husband explained to her that there was a contract between us and this wasn't her baby. He kept a calm and steady voice while speaking to her. She then started shouting that she had given birth to the baby and that it was hers. She said that we had no right to tell her otherwise. She demanded that my husband should decide how much time she got to spend with the baby. I could see that she was not well, as the woman standing before us was a totally different person with a whole different personality than the one we had met before. I whispered to my husband to give me a minute as I was going to call the agency. When they answered, I explained to them the situation. They said that they would try contacting her family and her doctor. They asked me not to worry and not to let her in. I went back out and informed my husband. He was in the process of persuading her to go back home. She just stood there staring at him blankly. The next second, she started screaming again and banging on the door, trying to reach through the grill. She was screaming, "He's mine! He's mine! I'm going to have him!" We backed off from the door and closed the second door. We had recently installed the grill door because we were going to have a baby and we thought it would be safer. I called the agency again and told them that the situation was escalating. I asked them if I should call the cops and the ambulance just in case. They told me that a family member was on the way and her doctor was coming too. I didn't know it was that bad. My husband took over from me and asked them what was wrong with her, but they wouldn't give him a straight answer. They just told him what we already knew, that she was struggling psychologically. For the next 15 minutes, the screaming and shouting got worse. We were told not to interact with her anymore, as it would only aggravate her more, and there was a possibility that she would try to attack us. My husband and I were scared after hearing this. Our baby was upstairs asleep. I went up to check on him. Thankfully, her yelling wasn't audible up there. He was fast asleep and would wake after an hour or two. I was hoping her doctor and a family member would get here and take her safely back home by then. I went down to see my husband peeking through the sides. Someone had come. It was the doctor. He was holding her and talking to her. A few minutes later, her family member showed up. It was her mother who hugged her immediately. I could see her patting her back and murmuring to her. My phone rang inside and I answered it. It was one of our neighbors asking me if everything was okay. He had heard her, but didn't want to interfere and make things worse, so he called to see if we needed help. I thanked him and told him that we had this situation under control now. I hung up and went back to check on them. The mother had coaxed her into the doctor's car. Her mother had come in an Uber. When she was in the car and couldn't see us anymore, the doctor rang the doorbell and asked us to open the door slightly. My husband did, and the doctor apologized for what happened and gave a brief explanation to us about the situation. He said it wasn't common, but due to a few imbalances and other factors, the surrogate had it. We asked him if she was going to be okay, and he said that she would in a few months. He assured us that he would tell her family to always keep an eye on her to make sure this situation didn't occur again, but he told us to be careful just in case. After he went away, my husband and I had a talk about what had happened, and we were both feeling a little anxious because of it. We informed our family about it, and my husband's parents asked us to come stay with them for a few weeks. We are considering it. Update 1, 2 months later. Our surrogate showed up at our house again. It had been quiet for a month, so we decided not to move to my in-laws' house. But another month passed and the same situation occurred again. Her sister was watching her and she slipped out. We spoke to her sister and the doctor. They said that she was improving at a slower pace. Her sister kept saying sorry to us. She felt guilty that the surrogate, her sister, had slipped away right under her nose. It was only her second time watching her. We asked if the surrogate was always at home or if she went out. Her sister said that she went out when 2 other family members were by her side. I apologized to her for the rough time they were going through. Though we had asked our agency how she was doing, they never gave us a direct answer. It was always very vague. My husband and I understood that we had to maintain no contact with them, but we still worried about her. She was a very kind and gentle person before all this happened. I spoke to my parents, and even they have recommended moving to our in-laws' house. This situation can be completely avoided that way. So we have decided to move into our in-laws' home. It would be better and safer for our family. Update 2. 6 months later, we are still at our in-laws' place. Our neighbors informed us about a woman screaming outside our door. It was our surrogate. We obviously called our agency and they handled it from there. This happened 2 more times before she was admitted to a care facility. Our family doesn't want us to move back just yet. We've even thought about selling the place and moving elsewhere. We'll see how it goes. Update 3. A week later. You all have been asking for an update on the baby, so here it is. The baby's doing well and is healthy. My in-laws love having him around. They're like excited children with him. Their house is huge and has plenty of space for all of us. My mother-in-law has 4 children, my husband being the eldest. It's the same house he grew up in. Update 4. 7 months later. Hi everybody, it's been a long time. This will be the last update. Our agency contacted us and sent us a video. It was from the surrogate. She seemed much better and brighter in the video. She apologized to us for all the trouble she had caused. She said she was doing much better now and wouldn't be a surrogate anymore. She said that she was prioritizing her mental and physical health now and was trying to move on from what happened. My husband and I were quite relieved to hear that. We could tell that she genuinely felt bad about it. She wished us the best and hoped for us to be healthy. We were happy for her. We spoke to our agency and asked them if it was appropriate to send a message back. They asked us not to film a video. We could text them the message and they would forward it to her. They asked us to keep it short, 3 to 4 lines maximum. She wasn't in the facility anymore, but she was still on medication. It was better to not interfere much. We decided to send her a text saying that it was okay and we hoped she did well. It was short and sweet. We informed our family about it and they were relieved too. We were still hesitant to shift back though. Over the next few days, we decided that it would be better if we sold that house and moved to another locality. Nobody's the a-hole here. Sometimes shit like this happens. You both are smart people. Moving houses permanently is good. NTA, nobody expected this. I feel bad for the surrogate, but I'm glad she's doing well. Info, I need more information on her condition. I know you have contracts and stuff, but it is good to be aware of stuff like this. What your family experienced was terrible. Your compassion towards the surrogate tells me what type of people you both are. Most people would have freaked out and gotten a restriction order or something. It was lovely of your family to offer to stay with them. I hope you move past this experience. Next story. Hi everyone. For as long as I can remember, I've been the child my parents expect the most from, yet give the least to. An example is I'm a medical school applicant. I went to the cheapest state school and I'm a paid intern at a cardiologist's office. I have yet to hear my parents congratulate me or even say they're proud of me. My oldest sister went to the most expensive school for undergrad and the most expensive nursing school. In total, her tuition cost about $500,000. To add, they got her a gift when she applied to undergraduate schools, when she got in, when she graduated, when she got into nursing school, when she graduated, and when she passed her NCLEX. I have yet to receive anything, even an affirmation statement. Thankfully, I can say my family is comfortable financially, but I do my best to avoid any additional costs for them, hence the cheapest schools possible. On to the issue. They expect me to watch after our dog and my sister's kid every waking moment of the day. I haven't had any time to myself because of this. I have plans? Nope, can't have them. Got to stay home and watch the dog so my parents can go out. Want to watch a movie? Nope, can't. My sister needs me to go do her laundry. And if I say no, it turns into an issue. There's so many examples of this, but my cup overflowed when I was studying for the MCAT, and they did not give me even enough respect to leave me alone to study. I was constantly watching after my dog, catering to them and their guests, and taking care of my then pregnant sister, as if she doesn't have a husband. I ended up having to retake. Today in the car, my mom asked if I'd move out if I get into an out-of-state school, and I said, in a heartbeat. She was visibly upset and asked why, in a pretty angry manner. I mentioned all of the above reasons and then added, if I stay here, you guys will be the reason I fail academically. My whole family isn't talking to me now. AITA? I know I need privacy and a stress-free study space for when I'm studying to become a doctor, but seeing how upset my mom got made me feel bad, so I don't know. Edit to add. A few of you mentioned moving in with someone. I responded with how my grandparents have offered for me to move in with them, but how that resulted in the comments. Additionally, I pay for everything of mine. The only thing I don't pay for is a roof over my head, which I am thankful for. Someone mentioned confusion with my thankful portion of my parents being comfortable. Yes, they are comfortable enough, but that doesn't mean they cover my expenses. And whatever they have covered, I have eventually paid them back. Another thing to add is I've mentioned in the comment a while back they mentioned they would help with medical school tuition. But as I also said in that comment, I don't know how likely that situation will be. I'll try to update if anything else occurs. I'm hopeful saying this to them today would maybe make them rethink how they've been towards me. Slight update. My mom came into my room today and told me her and my dad want to set up a family meeting tonight with my sister. I told them only if my SO, uncle and aunt can be there too. If this happens, I'll let you all know. Oh, Jesus, it's a dog, not a kid. May depend on the dog, but most dogs don't need to be watched every hour of the day. Some people will get a crate for their dog if it truly can't be left alone without destroying the place. Is their expectation truly that someone be in the home with the dog 24/7? That's not realistic, and if that's truly what they want, they should hire someone to watch the dog at the appropriate times. You can't hold up your entire life for someone's dog or kid, OP. Get out of there at the earliest opportunity. Edit. I didn't see the comment about the dog's health problems. That definitely changes things, but I do still think your parents need to handle this and not expect you to be the go-to. You can't be expected to watch the dog indefinitely. I just want to piggyback on this. OP, college is a breeze compared to med school, law school. My dad is a surgeon, I'm an attorney, and we had the same experience in school. The first 2 years, honestly, are hellacious. Then, when you start practicing, it's hellacious again, although you all have residency, luckily. If you want to be a doctor, you need to move out before you start med school. Your parents and sister are not going to be conducive to your success in your field and will likely cause extreme amounts of academic problems and anxiety for you. Your NTA here, you have been treated like the help, as a live-in baby dog sitter, and the only way to be successful in either of these extremely difficult fields is to put your all into that. At this point, you know you will never get an honest one from them, and I am so sorry because you very much deserve it. I'm proud of you, and I'm just an internet stranger reading your story. My worry is that you will tell them this, and they will grudgingly tell you what you want to hear, but only as manipulation to make you stay and keep taking care of their responsibilities. Remember, you don't want the words. You want parents who are there for you, look out for you, and rejoice in your success. Next story. My grandmother always makes a super big deal out of presents. Nobody else in my family does things on the same level as her. Every year, the grandkids get surprise boxes for Christmas that take forever to get into, are filled with glitter, and have things that fly out, make super loud noises, flash. I wasn't diagnosed with autism until 2021. I always get super overwhelmed with these presents and dread them, and the inevitable videos, photos that will end up on Facebook of me having a hard time masking anxiety spikes. I've mentioned not liking them before, but nothing changed, so I just kind of sucked it up. I'm almost 10 years older than the next oldest grandkids. May and April, but I am still closer to them than most of my family. They were both recently diagnosed with PTSD. Basically, what happened was presents were opened. May had something that sprang out towards her and triggered a panic response. Someone tried to calm her down by touching her. May had a breakdown and was escorted outside by April. Photos ended up getting posted on Facebook, and May could be heard panicking in the background of videos of the smaller kids opening presents. They didn't come to a New Year's dinner my family had earlier this week, and Grandma was pissed. They'd stayed with me on New Year's Eve, so she was asking me what was wrong with them. I told her that they were uncomfortable because of the situation at Christmas, so they were sitting this one out. She then accused us of hating her because we didn't act appreciative of her gifts. I said that we actually have a legitimate reason to, because every Christmas she gives her grandkids severe anxiety and then laughs about it on Facebook. This started a pretty big fight that ended with me getting kicked out and an angry call from my aunt, who basically chewed me out for being rude and told me not to talk to the girls anymore. It's been a few days and I'm still struggling with my own judgment on this. AITA? It's called cleaning up my side of the street. I didn't think the OP meant to hurt Grandma's feelings. It doesn't relieve Grandma from her responsibility for what she did wrong, so the apology would need to be very specific. Truthfully, I try not to spend a lot of mental energy on this type of person. They are who they are. I can't change them. Accepting that person for who they are is very powerful. It doesn't mean that I approve of their actions. It means that I quit expecting them to be any other way than who they are. So if I plan to have even limited contact with that person, the usual choice by most people, then I apologize for my part in it and forget about it. Apologizing helps me let go of the past and move on. Apology isn't for the other person, it is for me. I'm not trying to make up or make that person feel better. NTA, I would refuse to open anything from her. I wouldn't even accept it. I'm sure they are pushing the respect your elder, but what she is doing is wrong. I wonder if you could report that you and cousins are in some of the videos and don't want them on Facebook in order to get them taken down. Maybe talk to your mom, dad about how you feel and see if they will back you up. I hope they will. Opinion 3. It's actually worse than those prank video idiots who think that merely surprising someone with something unpleasant counts as a prank. At least with them, you know they're just a-holes and not someone who should instead be a trusted family member. It's absolutely pathetic. Torturing children for fake broke content. Well, Grandma, not surprisingly at all, they do not want to spend time with someone who would rather play tricks on children and then laugh with strangers at their unhappiness than to create warm family memories with them. NTA, wish there was some sort of international council of grandmas. She would lose her damn license for this. Things that fly out make super loud noises, flash videos, photos that will end up on Facebook. Mentioned not liking them before, but nothing changed. I always get super overwhelmed with these presents and dread them. And both recently diagnosed with PTSD. May had something that sprang out towards her and triggered a panic response. Photos ended up getting posted on Facebook, and May could be heard panicking in the background of videos. We didn't act appreciative of her gifts. She gives her grandkids severe anxiety, then laughs about it on Facebook. What in the name of everything did I just read? This woman is sadistic. She panicked her own grandchildren so badly that the poor girl had a meltdown and had to leave the house. Then she posted photos of it and videos, including audio of her granddaughter panicking. She's actively making the mental health of her grandchildren worse. Everyone needs to stop opening gifts from her immediately, and I would honestly go no contact after this. She knows what she's doing, and she doesn't care. She's been told you don't like it. She's witnessed one of her grandchildren having a full-blown panic attack because of it. She knows exactly what she's doing, but she values social media more than people. Her own children should be standing up for their kids and stopping this awful behavior. There's no playfulness to this. It's not innocent pranking. It's cruel and damaging. If your family forces you to see her, don't open anything. Failing that, start opening the boxes pointed towards her at short range. Film it. Let her experience a tiny taste of what she's putting her grandchildren through. I really don't see how this could ever be anything other than NTA. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.